Hello everyone. Good morning. So we are kicking off this 21 days to releasing fear of the future. And to start this off, and if you don't know how this works, there's a couple videos in here, just watch them. But we're not doing any on the weekends. But the first, I'm tagging each person who had a request, and I love this first one. So it's really about, I'm not going to have enough energy to be who I need to be to have success with ease. And I keep scraping and scraping and scraping by, and I'm so tired. So if anyone feels that way, especially now, with COVID being it's what it's been for so many people, and so many of us are seeing people around us and ourselves have, major changes in our lives, in our businesses, in our worlds, in our income. Some people might be doing well, but for those of you that say have your own deal, or you've seen your life impacted financially, and I know this one intimately, and I really appreciate this post, is about, God, I'm never gonna have what it takes to be the person I need to be to have success with ease. I'm so tired. I just keep scraping and scraping by. If you've ever felt this way, and we're gonna tap, but this is where I always go with this, and this is where I find renewal. We live in a culture that's crazy, literally insane, that tells us who we should be, how life should look, what success should look like, how that should be for us, and all of that. We're bombarded with it all the time. If you're successful, it looks like this. If you have a successful business, it looks like this. And what if if you feel like something is being withheld from you, if success, and we think about it in the worldly way that we talk about success, and of course we live in a world that needs money to live in, but if you're like, God, I just don't have enough money, I'm scraping by and I'm really tired of it. So the first place to me, really to go to is, if it feels like I'm being blocked, it doesn't matter how much I've tapped on this or all the energy work I've done around that, this stays in place. Most of us would keep digging in the hole, digging in the trench. What's wrong with me? What's the nook and cranny? I have a PhD in this. Like, what's the next thing I've got to uncover? Until I woke up from the nightmare and was like, wait a minute. And if you follow law of attraction or anything like that at all, you're going to have the belief that things aren't where you want them to be because you're doing something wrong, because you're not aligned with it right, you're not adjusting yourself right, you're not getting to that thing. And what if the reason this thing is not happening right now is you are actually being guided to something else? And that can feel impossible to believe in the midst of, I've got bills to pay, I'm scraping by. And if that's the case, this is bullshit, because I need this to live. But what if you could just entertain the idea that we live in a culture that's crazy, that tells us this is how success is supposed to be? And what if you're meant to find success in a different way? And I truly believe if we have a desire, for the most part, many of them are intended for us, but most of us are stuck in this, I've got to make it happen, I've got to push the agenda. And that's why we're tired. That's why we're exhausted, because we keep pushing the ego culture's agenda. I try one more thing and then it's going to be successful. I try one more thing and then it's going to be okay. If I could just get to the bottom of this, it's going to be okay. Instead of many of us taking a step back and going, is there something different here for me? Am I meant to learn something different? Am I perhaps maybe an older soul on the planet, and there's something that I'm meant to find in a different way here? So it's just another option, just something to consider. But the very human part of us needs to tap through the idea of, I'm exhausted. And I truly believe we get exhausted, been there myself, and dealing with the aftermath of that myself, of all this pushing energy. And if it's gonna be, it's up to me, and I gotta put my big girl or big boy pants on and make it happen. And that's exhausting. That's exhausting. And then if you hear about someone else, it's like, wait a minute, like they've been doing this less long than I have and they've got more success, or wow, they're successful, why not me? That's what we want to tap on. So karate chop. Even though I am so tired, I'm exhausted. And I'm in such fear that I don't have what it takes to have success in my life with ease. I choose to acknowledge I feel this way now. Even though I've tried so many things. I've worked hard. I've stepped back. And still nothing. Nothing's changing for me. I choose to acknowledge these feelings now. Even though I'm really afraid. And I'm really tired. I just seem to keep scraping by. I don't seem to have what it takes to find success in my life with ease. Or just success at all. I choose to honor these feelings now. And go to the eyebrow. I am so afraid. What's it gonna take? I've tried everything I can think of to be more successful. And yet, nothing. I got nothing. And I continue to scrape by. And it's a big if right now for me, there is a force of love that runs this universe. I think this force has forgotten about me. I can't believe I'm meant to live this way. I can't believe I've tried everything I've tried. And yet still nothing. And I'm totally judging myself. I'm epically judging myself. And I'm right to judge myself. Because I see people all around me who sure appear to be making it happen. Even in the midst of a pandemic. Not me. And that's where the judgment comes in. There must be something wrong with me. I must not be aligning myself properly. I must just have all the wrong thoughts. And that's what's holding me back. I'm really judging myself for this. And what if that's the place to start? Because I can't change what I judge. And what if the success that I'm grasping for isn't coming into my experience yet? Because there's still a part of me that's hooked into this crazy culture that pushes the ego's agenda, that tells me this is what success looks like. And what if I'm meant to unhook from that? And learn not to measure myself by some randomly chosen cultural standard. And what if, as I start to unhook from the self-judgment and unhook from the ego's agenda and the cultural insanity, what if guidance and direction comes to me for ways for me to take step forwards out of inspiration? And it's easy. God, I like the sounds of that. What if I'm meant to stop pushing so hard? I'm meant to relax more. And allow the guidance and direction that is meant for me, for the next step for me to take, to come through with ease. So take a breath. So for anyone, if you found that helpful, go back and tap on it as many times as you need to. It's this, to me, in my own life and in my own experience, we live in a culture that tells us who we should be, what should success would be, what that means, what the definition is. And we start to lose sight of our own true uniqueness in the world. And what if, again, the reason things aren't manifesting the way, that's a whole nother 21 days, manifesting the way we think they should. What if that's because really what we're hooked into is what we call the ego's agenda? The bully's like, well, you've got to do this to make it happen. Or it can sound reasonable. Well, just take these next steps and that'll make it happen. We've all done it. If any of us have done any program or whatever, and you're like, wait, I did exactly what they said and it hasn't changed for me. Why would that be? Why would that be? Well, the culture would tell us, well, you're doing something wrong. I mean, you just didn't do it right. You got to try harder, work harder, align more, create more of a vision board. And what if it's the exact opposite? You're actually meant to start unhooking from that madness where you can allow the divine guidance and direction that is unique for you as the individual that you are to come through in a much greater way. And you just the next step, that's it, just the next step. And living in this culture, that can feel, I always say it's like pulling the IV out of the arm, because we live in a culture that pushes and pushes and pushes and pushes us. It's like, make it happen, you do it. And there is nothing wrong with action, but does the action come from a pushing energy, or does it come from inspiration? I'm inspired and I want to do this, and I'm going to take those steps. And this is its own little process to go, oh, okay, who's running my show right now? What voice is talking? And you know that it's the pushing the ego's agenda when you feel kind of like, ugh. And you might even feel, this is the tricky part, you might even feel really excited and enthusiastic, but then you start to peter out quickly, and then this voice comes in and tells you everything you're doing wrong and everything that's not right and how you need to do this next thing. The voice to me that gives us the guidance direction is ease. It does come through with ease. And we feel a lightness of being, and we feel inspiration, and then action comes from inspiration. So, Emily, thank you for the topic. Celestine, great to see you here. Mish, I just saw you do a like, so I know you're here. Miss you and Diane, wish you guys well. And I can't tell whoever else is here, but that's day one. And this will be posted in here, and then I'm going to add it to YouTube, and then I'm just going to keep going online. I had a lot of requests this time, so we'll just keep going down through those requests. All right, everyone, take good care and have a great rest of your day or evening or morning, wherever you are on this fine planet that we all share together. Bye for now.